about to leave. Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking.
Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining me today. My name is Kara and I love to create through crafting, decorating, and cooking, and I also love to save money while doing all my favorite things. Today I'm super excited about this video because I am going to be making some decor for my classroom. So I work in an elementary school and I am so looking forward to hopefully getting back in the building this fall. So I decided to take some time and make some decorations for my classroom. Now I realize that this is kind of a specialized thing, but I think that these decorations would be great for party decor too, or even a kid's room, a playroom, even a nursery, because the theme is ice cream, and who doesn't love ice cream? I can't think of anyone. So anyway, come along with me as I do some creating today, and I hope you enjoy it. Let's start out with the easiest one of all. This Never Stop Dreaming sign came from the Fun Finds section at Dollar Tree, where they have all the unicorns and mermaids and teeny bopper stuff. And so I'm just covering up the words with a little bit of gold scrapbook paper, and I printed off this "We All Scream for Ice Cream" sign on a little bit of a thicker paper, and I'm just going to attach that with a whole bunch of Mod Podge. And off camera, I did end up swapping out the jute twine hanger for a handle from a gift bag. I thought it just looked a little bit nicer, so when you see all of these come together at the end, it'll have that different hanger on here. The next one here, I'm taking one of these fruit stand, lemonade, strawberry pickin' signs, and this is actually going to be my door sign for my classroom. So I'm going to put "Welcome to Speech and Language" on here, and then I'm going to put my name and the other SLP who I work with's name. And so I'm just scraping all that glitter and stuff off of the front. And then I'm using scrapbooking paper that I got from Michael's. These were 79 cents each, so not too much of a splurge there, but I definitely knew what I wanted for this, and I wanted to make sure I could get it. And of course, if I didn't feel like buying scrapbook paper for this, I could have just printed what I was looking for off, but I just feel like the quality and the thickness of that scrapbook paper is really what I wanted for this sign. So anyway, I ended up with the pink and white stripe and then this sprinkles design on these, and they are just exactly what I had imagined for this. And what I'm going to do next is I want this particular font for these signs. And sometimes I just don't feel like looking at my own handwriting, or I just don't have all the confidence in the world in my hand lettering. I have taken a hand lettering class, but I just feel like I don't know. It's still just, it's not the same as like picking out a super cute font that you're sure that you want to look at for a long time. So anyway, what I've done is I found this font that I really like. I'm gonna have to find the name of that font. And I just downloaded it, printed this off, and what I've done is scribbled on the back of this piece of paper with pencil. And then this is basically just making a really cheap version of some transfer paper. Is that what that's called? Or carbon paper? I think that's what it is. And so once I have this all cut out, I'm just going to lay that down on the scrapbook paper, and then with a ballpoint pen, this part's really important. You have to have a ballpoint pen. You are going to outline the letters, and then what that's going to do is transfer the graphite from the pencil back onto the scrapbook paper here. So that's what you'll see me do. So now that I have my pencil outline, I am taking a Sharpie pen and I am outlining all of those letters, and then I am just using my calligraphy pens to fill all of that in. And here is how that turned out. All right, so for this piece of scrapbook paper, I actually discovered another or an alternative method to transferring an item that you've printed on. So it seems that if you just put the ink side down of whatever you're wanting to transfer and you scribble with pencil on top, then that outline of the ink is going to show up nicely. So you can see that here. I have the outline of this little ice cream cone that I'm wanting to transfer over, and then I'm able to just go ahead and outline that with my Sharpie pen again, and then I fill it in with my calligraphy pens once again. So just two good options here. If you don't have a Cricut or a Silhouette like I don't, then this is a good way to get cute fonts or little pictures like this transferred over. I absolutely love this sign. I can't wait to hang it up. The next project here, I'm going to be making an ice cream cone, and I'm starting with this triangular sign for a kid's room, just popping off the animal there and doing my best to scrape off this glue residue, but it just did not want to come off. So I ended up covering it up as best I could with some white paint, and I'm going to cover it anyway later. I'm using these tube gift bags. I thought the colors on these were just fantastic. That minty green just reminded me of mint chocolate chip ice cream, and the pink one reminded me of strawberry ice cream. So I thought it would be perfect for this. So I'm just going ahead and cutting a rectangle out of this bag. I'm using the entire front of the bag to make my first scoop for my first ice cream cone. So I am taking this piece of the gift bag and I'm cutting off as many of the little holes and imperfections that I can off of the side, but I'm being careful to keep it as big as possible because I need it to kind of fit over the sides of this triangle. So I'm just tracing a semicircle here, and then I'm going to leave some extra space for myself on the bottom so that I can add those scalloped edges to mimic a scoop of ice cream. Okay, so I'm laminating these because I need it to hold up for a while, but if you were making this for a party or something like that, definitely feel free to skip that step. I just thought it would kind of help it hold up to the heat and things like that and help it stand up a little straighter. So I found this really pretty wrapping paper. It's more like a craft paper, and then it has this gold metallic herringbone pattern on it. And I thought this would be wonderful for the cone of my ice cream cones. I think it looks really nice on there. And I am just giving this a coat of Mod Podge and sticking it on. Now I am popping that back in the frame, being careful to make sure that that kind of bad edge that we had to cover up with paint was up on the top, so that will end up getting covered by our ice cream cone scoop here. So I just tacked down the corners of each ice cream scoop with some hot glue, and then I'm using some of those tumbling tower blocks, the Jenga game that they sell at Dollar Tree. And I'm using a mix of hot glue and super glue to attach those to the top of that triangular frame and then the back of each scoop of ice cream just to give it a little extra stability. And then I took the handles from the gift bags that I'm using, and I am using those to create a hanger here. And this is something that I've seen a lot of people do, is to just use a little scrap piece of cardboard to make a reinforcer to help hold on like any sort of string or hanger that you put on the back of a project. I am just amazed with how these turned out, and you would definitely not know that each one cost about $2 to $3 to make. Next, I'm going to make some pen cups that look like ice cream cones. So I have one of these Dollar Tree glasses. I spray painted it with this off-white color to start with. And then I have this ribbon. It's like an open weaved ribbon. You could use burlap ribbon too. And I am just dabbing some paint here that I mixed up. This was brown, gold, and white mixed together. And I just wanted this to have like some nice texture to it. And then when I took the ribbon off, it kind of had this raised texture. And then I'm just going around with some black to kind of define the edge of what's supposed to be that ice cream cone there. And then what I'm going to do next is create some sprinkles on top for this one. So how I do that is I am taking these tube confetti that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just dripping Mod Podge down the side of the top of this glass on the part that's painted that off-white color. And once I have one or two drips kind of ready to go, I just take that tube confetti and sprinkle it on. And then this one, I wanted to make it look like mint chocolate chip. So I am mixing together this Waverly green chalk paint and then this lighter minty green acrylic paint that I had sitting around. And I am just going to give the top of this one a couple coats of that color. And then for my chocolate chips, I had left over some of these fashion gems from a different project. They're basically a little pearl with sticky adhesive on the back. And so I just like to use rolled up painter's tape to apply those because they are so small. They're a little hard to manipulate. So I just do that to make sure that I get them exactly where I want. And I think these are going to be so sweet for pen cups for me and the other person I share my room with. Now I'm making some hanging ice cream cones. These are going to be so fun. So I just have a gold cup and some bouncy balls from Dollar Tree. And it was kind of hard to come up with a way to hang these because I knew I couldn't poke into the ball, otherwise it would pop and maybe deflate. So what I ended up deciding to do is wrap some yarn around here. I didn't have clear fishing wire. That would have been a really good solution, but I didn't have any of that on hand. So I ended up just using this white yarn, and I still think it looks nice. So all I'm doing is wrapping 2 pieces of yarn around the ball and tying them in knots on the bottom, and then I am just going to stick that in the cup, and I'm going to use a mix of Gorilla Glue and hot glue to hold this on so that I get that longevity of the Gorilla Glue and then the kind of instant hold from the hot glue. And then to hang these up, I just threaded another piece of yarn through those 2 intersecting pieces on the top. And I think this turned out great. I really like them. I love the 3D effect, and I think they're really very sweet. Okay, and last up here, I am making, this is my favorite one. I'm making an ice cream garland. And so I'm taking those 2 circular pieces that I had left over that were attached to those triangle frames that I used earlier, and I'm just giving those a couple coats of white paint. I think I ended up doing 3 coats of paint here. I have this piece of scrapbook paper that I am just going to cut my glittery red cherry for the top of this ice cream cone. So what I'm doing here is making a big ice cream cone for the center of the garland. I wanted it to have kind of like a focal point, and then a few smaller ice cream cones to the sides. I'm going back and using some more of that sprinkle scrapbook paper just so that I can add some sprinkles to the top layer of this ice cream cone.
Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche. We're on the run, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free.
Okay, now off camera, I had taken some of these pom-poms I had sitting around. I know they sell pom-poms at Dollar Tree. I'm not sure if you're going to get the all white ones there. I don't know if I've seen those there before, but I had these from something else that I made a long time ago. And then I just have some Dollar Tree baker's twine, and I took a needle and thread and basically sewed all of these onto the baker's twine because I could not think of another way that I'd be sure they would hold. If you can think of a way, let me know, but this is what I decided to do. So I have 6 of the pom-poms attached to the baker's twine, and here I am just cutting out little cones from scrapbook paper, and I'm attaching those with hot glue. I made the cones front and back glitter just in case they were to flip over or kind of spin around so that it would look good on both sides. You probably don't have to do that, especially if you were using this for party decor or something like that. Now, I took a piece of a straw and made sure to put that in the very middle so that I would be able to attach my focal point of that big ice cream cone that we made. And I think this turned out so sweet. I think this would look amazing for a birthday party, an ice cream social, any sort of gathering, and it was really easy. So Here is how everything came together. I am so proud of all of these. I can't wait to display them in my classroom, and I think it's just going to make for a really fun backdrop for my room this year.
Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche.
Thanks again for joining me as I put together these crafts, and leave me a comment down below letting me know which one was your favorite and if you're going to try any of these at home. Also, leave me a comment and tell me your favorite ice cream treat. Mine right now is going to Dairy Queen and getting a Blizzard with the cookie dough and DQ sprinkles. They are the best sprinkles in the world. They're just super crunchy and wonderful. And if you look really closely at them, the red ones are like a tiny Dairy Queen symbol. It's crazy. I don't know how they did that. Anyway, so if you like this video, subscribe to see more like this, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!